Well, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's new episode of Breakfast with Boom. And of course, I am your host, Mr. Boomstick XL, and we have an outstanding panel. We have an outstanding stacked list of topics. We got some outstanding gameplay you're going to get a chance to watch. I'm playing some Forza Motorsport. I believe it's 4. Yeah, I believe it's 4. I do have 3, which is my favorite.
Horizon.
Yeah, I mean, I said Motorsport. Yes,
Yeah,
Horizon.
I'm
Yes,
like,
Forza.
what? No, I
Yeah,
said,
no.
Forza Motorsport don't look like that.
Well, you're certainly not driving on grass, that is for sure.
Right.
But listen, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. As we wait for people to file in, I want to open up the show with a little bit of on a serious note. Obviously, this week has been tough for the entire community. We are all still grieving with the loss of the Nintendo guru who passed. He lost his battle, unfortunately, with COVID-19. And then, of course, in the middle of the week, like that wasn't already terrible enough. We lost our very good and close friend and brother, known as iDizzy. Obviously, he is both of these content creators made an impact with their work, but more so on them being incredible men, incredible human beings. So the reason I bring up Dizzy again, and I talked about him, I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, he's an angel now for sure, but he brought a lot of joy, a lot of insight, and a lot of brotherly understanding and love to many people in this community, one of which is here, King David, who knew him very well. And at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, ILP, also known as the Iron Lord Podcast, is going to be doing a tribute to iDizzy, and that's directly after Breakfast with Boom. We are going to try and get this show out of here at noon. I'm going to be attending. King is going to be attending. Dreadpool's going to be attending, and so is Crispy Bomb. And it's going to be like a Zoom call conference where we're just going to be talking about what he brought to this community, what he meant to us, and some of the interactions. I mean, I didn't get a chance to work with the Nintendo guru, which I'm saddened, of course, because he looked like an incredible human being. But I had many chances, and I've been blessed to have been worked many times with iDizzy on this particular show and many others. So it was great to have worked with him and see what he's all about. And he was a true gamer, man. Let me tell you. So let's get into the introductions. But again, just so everyone, I want to funnel everyone over. When you're done listening to this show, please, even if you just want to stop by and support the Iron Lords by a view. We would definitely appreciate if you could. Again, I said this yesterday and I'll say it again today. If you have the idea to drop a super chat into this podcast, I appreciate it. I love you for it. But I would ask that you hold on to that and you head over to that stream and you drop that super chat that you wanted to give me to Dizzy's family. I think right now they are, besides hurting physically because their heart is broken, the financial aspect of it is going to be something that I hope this community comes out in a big way and supports that family. So again, if you want to drop a super chat here, I appreciate it. But if you also can't afford to do both, I would say please hold on to that super chat and tune in to the Iron Lords and drop it there. Or more importantly and more easily, because we don't want to give Google 30% because fuck Google. Sorry. We want to give that money to iDizzy and his family, and I'm going to drop the link into the chat momentarily so you can directly donate to the GoFundMe. And if someone in the chat or somebody on the panel wants to do that a couple of times, by all means, please do that. But let's get into the introductions, and we're going to go right back to, I said it in the thumbnail, it's the return of the king. That's right, King David making his grandest return. King David, how the heck have you been?
Oh, man, I've been fantastic. Besides what's been going on as far as, Nintendo Guru and iDizzy. iDizzy 81. Nintendo Guru, me and him was, at a Amiibo war, and he beat me. Yeah, he has way more Amiibos than I do, and a true Nintendo fan, through and through, and a true gamer. To be honest with you, I always loved his displays. I always loved every time he came on the air. He had his backgrounds was lit, and he always had that energy. Me and Dizzy shares the love for Doctor Doom. There's a lot of things that we talked about in the background. I even had a chance to send him one of my prized possessions as a gift, and I'm glad that he had a chance to enjoy it, because I loved it, and I knew him receiving it from me would be something that he would thoroughly love, enjoy, and cherish, and he definitely did. So yeah, I've been playing video games and unboxing statues. As y'all can see, my Hawkbuster right over there, and with this can you see this Hawk over here? Can you see this 1/4 Hawk over here?
That's a big Hulk. I don't even know how the shelf is holding them up.
Well, that thing holds up 800 pounds. So it's cool. It holds up both of them. Those guys are good. I just unboxed on DCX XM's Green Goblin that's over there. KOS is this week.
We saw that. Mrs. Boomstick and I watched that together.
Oh,
that was dope, dude. Yeah, that was dope. Yeah, that was definitely dope.
I love that. I also sell statues, so hit me in the DM. But guys, I am so happy to be here. Like, when you open up your business and you work in your businesses, sometimes you have to take a step back from other things that you're doing to make sure that your business will grow. It's just like giving birth to a new baby. You have to take a leave of absence from your workplace to make sure that your baby is being well taken care of.
Of course.
So I had to step back a little bit from Breakfast with Boom just to make sure that these two new businesses that I've opened up are being maintained and run to the King standards. So here I am, sir.
Oh, well, it's great to have you back, definitely. And, again, we're going to have a great show. Lots to talk about. And one of the bigger topics, which we're going to save for the middle of the show. So we're going to be talking some Resident Evil. We're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch Pro, which basically has been confirmed by Bloomberg. But the big topic of the day is Sony basically abandoning Japan. As a matter of fact, look, first of all, before I get into that, we have Gaz from Game On Daily here.
Oh, shit. What you guys doing, inviting me?
What's up, brother? How you feeling?
Big mistake. No, I'm good, man. How you guys, bros?
We're doing well. Listen, I know this was a last minute, a shot to the wind. I don't know how long we're going to have you. Maybe 5-10 minutes, even a half an hour, whatever you can give us is great. We love what you do over on your channel. I think that you don't have enough views, man. You definitely don't have enough subs, and that's a shame, because what you do over there on Game On Daily is just incredible. And I think you need to, I think you have the chops to be someone as big as IGN, in my opinion. So
that means a lot, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
so
no,
much.
Absolutely, brother. No doubt about it. Listen, we love seeing it. We love seeing the little guy win.
Mate, look, you guys and the community are what propped us. We are part of you. I mean, you guys say us. Game On Daily is a hive mind, a collective of nice people. So we, all of you, we're the same. So if Game On Daily is not getting enough views, we all aren't. So let's push that. But ultimately, man, look, I love this community. I'm just there, just love you guys, man. The fact that you invited me while I'm just here, just trolling people in your chat, is just amazing.
Well, it's great
trolling Crispy right there. But thank you so much. And I also wanted to quickly come in as well and show my respects as well. I'm waiting for that. I never really got to know the Lords until very recently, so I can't wait for that 5 p.m. one. I've even cancelled client calls just to show my respects about that. But we'll talk about that later.
Nice. Yeah, we definitely will, for sure. A big shout out to Noof Nukem. Obviously, he's one of our good friends, and my crew on this Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is going to be beating down Noof Nukem and his crew in the podcast Halo Championship. That's right. That's being Fork Boy Gaming along with Wilmy Hood put that together. The cash prize had been boosted to $500, which is a lot of money, and of course, the hive mind at that has put this incredible thing together has decided that it's going to go directly to get to Dizzy's family, that entire pot. So basically, we're playing for Dizzy and his family, and regardless of who wins, it's really just bragging rights. But that prize money is being donated.
I think that whole tournament is fraudulent.
And why is that, sir?
Because I don't see no Iron Lords represented in there. Because let me tell you something, Mean Gene. Let me tell you something, Gene. Let me tell you something. Nobody's gonna take this belt from us. You understand? No one, not one person out there is gonna beat us in Halo. Hang them high. I don't care what you want to do. We got this right now. Iron Lords all day. You put that 500 up. We're coming for the 500, and we're sending it to Dizzy. Make sure it's getting there in style, baby.
Oh man, if I knew about this properly, I would have prepared our crew to go against the Iron Lords. Oh, I'll bear this in mind.
Well, you know what? I'm sure this is not going to be the only tournament for sure. But let's get with the rest of the introductions. Crispy Bomb, first of all, my brother, welcome back to the show. How you been feeling?
Oh, I'm good. Good morning, everybody. Rest in peace, Dizzy and Nintendo Guru. And let's get into it because we don't want to be too somber here, but it's definitely a rough day, And
yeah, it's for sure. Yeah.
Urge everybody to go and ILP right after. So
yeah, and we're gonna do that because I think it's super important, and obviously, we want to support. Not just one cause, because obviously we're going to be dropping the link for both GoFundMe's for the families, and obviously we want to talk about sometimes it's better than holding it in to talk about it, and I think we got to celebrate both of these fine community members' lives, and the lives that they touch, to be honest with you. But Dreadpool, my brother, welcome back to the program. How are you feeling after eating those crispy strips this morning?
Oh, good morning, everyone. I have, nope. I mean, this is the chicken that started fighting before Popeye's chicken, okay? And if anybody knows about Southern Florida and the southern states in this area, it's called Publix, and Publix chicken is the bomb. I actually got it before the show. They're not even supposed to release it until 10 o'clock. I was able to get it 9:30, so I'm still munching on it now. It is so good. But yes, rest in peace, Guru, Izzy. But like we said, we'll go over that later. Definitely check it out, the show after ours, just to, support, this is a gaming thing. And Gaz, welcome. Surprised you're here.
Oh man, welcome! Thank you for welcoming me. I'm surprised I'm here, but it's good to hear from you.
Yeah, let's get the show on the road, right?
It's not the same without me seeing your beard, man. I know how
it's been forever.
Yeah, I need to see that.
Well, you know what? Let's break right into Gaz. How long are you going to be on the program? How much can you give us?
If my actual job knew what I'm doing right now, I'd probably get fired. But I will manage as much as possible. If a client calls me, I'll tell them to piss off subtly. But I'll be here as long as possible. I have no idea. So,
okay, all right.
I'll try and mute in between calls. I have a completion call, and then I might do that. So I'll just let you know. But I'm really, really sorry. Normally, I wouldn't do this, but because of the impromptu invite, I didn't want to turn it down.
Yeah, well, now listen. You know what? Let's open up with the Bloomberg Megaton that they just dropped. Now, look, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
When Bloomberg does an article regarding gaming, we're not talking about Joe and John's comic shop down the block that are dropping news. We're talking about Bloomberg. I think they to say that they're accredited would be a complete understatement. And they dropped a Megaton report this week with the new Nintendo Switch with 4K output and an OLED screen. And apparently it's going to release before Christmas. Now, Nintendo obviously plans, according to the story, to unveil a model of its Switch gaming console equipped with a bigger Samsung OLED display this year, hoping that the larger touchscreen can prop up demand in time for the holiday. People familiar with the plan said. Now, according, again, to the story, Samsung Display Company will start mass production of the 7-inch 720p resolution OLED panels as early as this June, with the initial monthly target of just under 1 million units. Now, obviously, this comes from an unnamed source who wanted to remain nameless. The display apparently are slated for shipment to the assemblers around July. And representatives from Nintendo and Samsung have also recently declined comment. Here is what the Bloomberg Intelligence report had to say. The release of the more premium version of Nintendo's Switch console with the OLED display and support for 4K graphics for for holiday 2021 selling season could drive the company's sales well above consensus for the fiscal year ending in March 2022 and extend the life of the Switch platform for many more years to come. Now, look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Now getting away from the article, this seems like a no-brainer. And obviously, King, I want to go to you first because you and I actually have been talking about the Nintendo Switch Pro for quite some time.
Yeah.
A bigger screen, a bigger console, a more powerful console. Obviously, it's going to have a better display while docked and, of course, while on the go. Does this surprise you at all?
Well, yes and no. What's eye-opening is if you thought the Series X and the PlayStation 5 and the Series S was hard to find, they told you with just under 1 million, that's not feeding everyone. So I'm gonna tell you right now, you will probably never get your hands on one for like 2 years. But if this is to be, I'm more concerned with them being preoccupied with the screen. And I guess this has to be a leak that's coming from Samsung, right? Because they're just focusing on the resolution of the screen. Now, I don't believe that the console itself can output at 4K because the draw will be too high. And I don't believe that they're going to be using the Tegra 2 chip that I've been calling for them to use. I believe that they'll still be using the Tegra 1 chip, but basically overclock with more memory. And I believe they will be using the NVIDIA 2.0 DLSS to upsample it to get the output on the visuals at a higher bit rate and to bring it closer to 4K. So I don't believe that it's true 4K. I believe that through DLSS, it will achieve something close to it and to keep the draw rate high or lower on the power output of it. See, the reason why they was using the Tegra chips before, because Nintendo likes to have a battery life. The power consumption of the machine is key, and it's the driving factor in a handheld. You cannot have a magnificent handheld. Shout out to the Nomad. Shout out to the Turbo Express. For those people that didn't have a Sega Nomad or who didn't have the privilege of owning a Turbo Express, then you didn't have the privilege of only playing for an hour on 5D batteries.
Remember that.
That was an expensive privilege.
Yes. So, it's not the fact that they can't achieve these graphics and stuff like that. It's just the fact that the price, cost, power, consumption, and battery life longevity is prevalent and is a paramount to pushing it in the market. So Nintendo knows that battery life is key for them. That's one, because you've always seen it with every revision of the console. It has extended the battery life on every handheld that they had. That is key. They want you to be able to game on the go for upwards of 8 to 10 hours on a single charge. So that is so the initial one will probably be somewhere in between 4 to 6 hours, and then the next revision of the new handheld would be 8 to 10 hours. The 7-inch OLED screen, for LCD screen or whatever screen that they're going to be using from Samsung, that's more eye-opening, to be honest with you. Why choose Samsung? Who made the screens before? So these questions need to be answered, but this is a no-brainer. But the Switch is killing it right now. So yeah. Nintendo is really in a leisurely sit back pattern and wait, because the games right now are either being remastered, boosted, or not taking advantage of next generation consoles. So Nintendo doesn't feel the heat at all because these consoles are not available. So while they're not available, the Switch is available and it's selling like hotcakes, baby. So they're not in a position to be forced to do anything. When these next generation consoles do get their legs under them and start showing real separation, then you're going to see Nintendo just drop it, and they're going to have advertisement a month before and then drop the Switch the following month. They're going to tell you 1 month before it drops, like, yo, next month on the 22nd, see you there. Boom. Yep. You're like, what? Pre-orders when? Pre-orders now. Oh my God, you didn't get one. So...
Feature right there.
That's exactly what's going to happen. be prepared to be upset. That's all.
All I can tell you is that I think people are going to be waiting online overnight, and I just might be one of those people because I want a new Switch. Even though I
You're
just
gonna be
bought
sitting
one.
with me. You're gonna be sitting with me, and we're gonna make sure that we get them. And you, anytime somebody tries to skip the line, you just jump up and flash your badge. Get back, get back.
Get the police lines, the tape lines, and put them there.
That's
So no
right.
crossing. Which, by the way, let's go to Gaz. Gaz, you guys have been covering Nintendo for quite some time, and I don't think this comes off as a surprise. What I was laughing about, I had to mute the mic, is you said that my rewind, the overuse of my rewind feature in Horizon, dude. I want you to know that I drove that car. I almost cut that footage out. I hate that. I was like, why did I pick this? You'll see that my driving skills are much better. In the
I'll
next
take your
couple
word
of races.
for it.
Getting back to the Switch Pro. I mean, listen. I listen. Even if they didn't come out with one, they're gonna still be sell the Switches. I just bought a new Switch. I bought the Mario edition. I didn't need it.
How much did you pay for that? How much did you pay?
$300. I bought it.
It has not reduced in price.
You got the one that came with this?
Yes.
What Bowser thing? Yeah.
Yeah. It actually came. It didn't actually come with the game. Mine didn't at least come with the game. Yeah, mine just came with the case. It was $2.99. With the Mario case. I didn't get the game. Which is
I tease Nintendo for being the criminal. See, I got the Wii U version.
Yeah, I have it too.
I tease Nintendo for being hardcore criminals and making you buy the same stuff over. That's more egregious for you to buy the console and you think you're going to get a digital something in the package. Yeah,
I thought it was. Yeah, no digital game came with it, brother. It was just a Mario case for the Switch. Boy. So Gaz, let me get your opinion on this. I mean, again, this is not confirmed from Nintendo or Samsung. This is from Bloomberg. They have inside sources from both Nintendo and Samsung that have confirmed this. Privately to them. They didn't disclose who they heard it from. And we know Bloomberg really knows the business. I don't think they would put out a report like this that wasn't true. What are your thoughts on this, man? I mean, is this a big win for Nintendo or a big loss for its fans who got to buy a new console?
Oh, no, I think it's a win-win. As much as they like to take them, realize that Nintendo haven't actually reduced their price in years. Since the Nintendo Switch has not been reduced in price, you've been paying the same price. Like, you just paid it. So the Nintendo has been out for 4 years and still hasn't seen a price cut, the Nintendo Switch. So this one, with this 1 million, if it's to be believed, that is ridiculous. That's going to fly out. If you're a scalper, and if you hate scalpers, then you're going to hate them even more. But if you're a smart businessman, start considering a career change and make some money because
if you invest in that, you're gonna make bank for sure.
Trying to get 10 of them.
Yeah, you know what? I don't hate on scalpers. I don't know how they do it, but they just do it. But the thing is, it's a question of when, not if. We know the Pro is coming. This thing is generating mad money. So, what I'm more concerned about. Is this just going to be a console that's got to get a res upgrade? Because I'm not a fan of this whole cross-gen stuff. I kind of like my line drawn. So I would like Nintendo to draw the line in the sand with a console that's quite old. Like you were saying, King. I didn't get it, man. I don't understand what the strat will be here. So will they be cross-gen or they're going to draw the line in the sand, which I highly doubt they'll do the latter.
If they do anything, it's going to be in the Tegra line. They're not going to be. That's NVIDIA's like mobile chip, and it's very powerful and it's very durable. Trust me, if you have the NVIDIA Shield and they use the Tegra 1 and the Tegra 2 chips in those NVIDIA Shields, they are 10 times more powerful than the regular Switch. They've dumbed down the Switch. So I think they're just going to unlock the Switch with the Tegra 1 chip and give it more memory to it so you can flesh it out. But I think you're going to be disappointed with the cross-gen stuff, brother.
Because, I don't know. I'm maybe a bit too pessimistic about the whole thing. We know that Apex Legends is running on the Switch badly, but it runs
terribly, as a matter of fact.
yeah. Yeah, so like the scalability thing, I don't like it. I don't like Microsoft's approach with the Series X. Although that, to be honest, that's hardly being held back because most of the actual next gen games are only on Series X, the Series consoles. So it's like that's not a massive issue. But the Nintendo, also typically don't need power. They're very, their ingenuity is something else. They drive the industry, so they think beyond power. It's more the core gameplay mechanics. But I will definitely buy that. I would buy. Anyone will be wanting to buy that. That thing will fly off the shelves if it's 5 million or 10 million even. So it's just going to be a win-win. And Nintendo are not going to be averse to making money. So I think this Bloomberg article, where there's smoke, there's fire. They haven't always been correct though. But Bloomberg are well respected, like you said, Boom. They aren't some, this is serious business, so they'll have contacts in the industry who would know about it. But let's see. But I need to see the games, man. Where's Metroid Prime? We're getting excited about hardware.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, if there's one thing that you can expect, and again, it could be why they didn't talk about Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, because it would make sense, literally dollars and cents, if Nintendo released a Zelda game, Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, with the new console, because that's what they're aiming for. That's why they didn't talk about it. That's why that Nintendo Direct, a lot of people walked away feeling a little ho-hum.
I was happy because we have Skyward Sword, brother. Don't you even come for me.
Listen, I'll tell you this. It's one Zelda game I've never played because I did not like the motion controller. So I like the idea that I'm going to get a chance to play, an old Zelda game that's new for me. Again, so some people are going to be like, oh, I have to rebuy it, but I never bought it. So for me, I'm sure
King was the only one.
Listen. First of all, I wasn't the only one. Second of all, you're gonna stop coming for me and my Breath of the Wild. And you know what's crazy? I know now with Skyward Sword, you guys are gonna really fall in love with this game. And if you have the standstill, that's the one I call the regular Switch that doesn't change. Not the original one with the motion controllers. If you have the regular standstill one, you're gonna catch FOMO and you're gonna run out and you're gonna go buy a regular Switch that you can use the motion controls, because these motion controls will make it. You'll see, Boom. I cannot wait. I want to see you play it. Pause.
You know what? You're right, though, Lord. I think Lord King. How can he be a Lord and a King? King's like crazy.
Well, see, the thing is, I'm not going to get into that. Anyway,
good point. But I was going to say, as much as I was on your show and I kind of was dogging on that. I had never played it myself, so I might be converted, and I will buy it day one for as much as I make fun of it.
I know.
So it's hard to know what to say. But it's, but I didn't consider this point. You guys, Boom, you made a sick point that like the Breath of the Wild was, they revealed that alongside, or released it alongside the Switch. This could be it, and that's just, it would create waves instantly. People would be wanting to pre-order the console even more, which is insane. So,
what's interesting about that is, if you recall, and we've never seen, listen, we've all been gaming for a very long time. I've been gaming over 40 years. One of the most interesting points with the Zelda Breath of the Wild launch title for the Switch is that at one point it was over 100% console to game. That has never been done in the history of gaming, folks. They sold more copies of Zelda Breath of the Wild than they had consoles to sell. People were actually going to the store and saying, I'm here for my console. Oh, we don't have it. All right, you know what? I'll take the collector's edition. I'll come back for the console. They were buying the game before they bought the console. We've never seen that. And guess what? You're going to see it again. Because if that happens and Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, you will see an over 100% one-to-one. And again, only Nintendo can pull that kind of stuff off.
Well, don't forget, they also sold it on the Wii.
That is absolutely correct. You know what, Dreadpool? Let's bring you in on a conversation with this. Again, we don't have confirmation from either of the companies, but I do trust Bloomberg. And yes, they have gotten things wrong, but I don't think that they're going to get this wrong. We have heard this exact same scenario drop earlier last year, and I think we're going to get it this year. What are your thoughts on it? Would you go out and buy a Nintendo Switch Pro?
Well, let's start with this first.
There you go.
I'm already done with my shift. Okay.
Wait,
It's
wait,
5
wait,
o'clock
wait, wait, wait.
somewhere.
Oh, wait, what time is it actually where you are?
10:30.
5
You're-
o'clock somewhere.
you joke.
So
Let it happen. Let it happen.
I love it. I love it. I love this energy. I love
I mean, it's 4 o'clock somewhere in the world,
Yeah.
right? No doubt about it.
it. Not here in the UK, and we're quite
There
far
you
ahead of you.
So Samsung has an oversupply of the screens. This is why they went there. They got them cheap. Okay. You got to remember, they're all about making money. They're not about handing you a console and eventually getting that money back. They're about money up front on everything that they do. Okay.
Yep.
Now here's the other thing, right? Because I thought about it and I was like, there's no way, even increasing the size, you're not going to get that much of a difference. Because back in the day, don't forget when we had 720p TVs and we went up to 1080, if you had what was it, like a 24-inch screen to a 30 screen, it made no sense to get 1080p because it was so compact you couldn't even tell the difference. So people running around with 1080p on a 7-inch screen, no, not going to happen. There's no point. It's just wasted power. Okay. Now, here's the beauty of it. The Shield can do 4K.
Yep.
Okay. It could do HDR10 or
Yep.
Dolby Vision. Okay. So King is right. Doing all that is going to suck down a lot of power. Okay.
You got me excited. At one point, you said it can do that. I'm like, oh, it can.
It
But then you
can. The
said-
It
NVIDIA
can.
Shield
It has
is
the
a very
ability.
powerful
Yeah.
thing.
Yes.
But it'll be a
So-
battery hog, so it won't do it. What do you reckon?
Correct.
Oh,
So
okay.
unless they do something also, I'm thinking with the base to help it out for that 4K push, because a lot of TVs now are doing a 4K upres automatically, and it looks like crap, you know. So if they can do something more and then utilize something in that base station to help push it out for a better, cleaner signal, they may have something there.
That- yeah.
Now, am I going to buy it? I've got 2 games right now that are sitting there.
You still buy
Okay.
it, man. Don't even lie.
I'm probably going to buy it.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody's gonna buy it. I mean, come on,
I'm probably
it's
gonna
Nintendo.
buy it. You know what I mean? So, and then the whole Zelda coming out, and it's like I didn't buy it. I didn't buy Zelda. I bought Mario and I bought Mario Kart.
Oh, you can't
I'm
go wrong with
looking-
that. I mean,
wait,
both of them.
Wait,
I'm looking at buying.
you didn't buy Breath of the Wild?
No, not even for the Wii U. Yeah,
Wait,
exactly.
you haven't played it?
Wait. Time out. Wait.
Chat, can everyone judge him?
This is a bigger story than the Switch 2. This is a bigger story than the Switch 2. Wait, okay, so I wasn't privy to this information. I hate when I get new information and they just blindside me. All right, so you mean to tell me, okay, Dixie, I gotta digest this. You have a Switch in your possession.
Yes.
You have the opportunity and the ability, and you could do it,
You could do.
could afford to purchase without bothering your wallet at all the single probably greatest game the Switch has.
One of the highest rated games of all time.
And
Yeah.
and you haven't?
Yeah.
I feel
It's
his
a-
brain is exploding right now. I know.
Yo, I
It's gonna
really
explode even more. Here's the
go
best
for
part,
it.
right?
Yes.
I have to dust it because it ended up being a dust collector, a paperweight. Okay,
This is true. I got a PlayStation 5 that's doing the same thing. Go ahead.
so that's
so,
but that's the thing. It's just like it is what it is. I've got my Game Pass that saves me money. It saves
Right,
me everything.
right,
I could spend that extra money that I don't spend on Game Pass on it, but I got a little one I got to take care of, so I got to put my priorities in order. and-
That's exactly
That's
what
where
we was
it's at.
talking about earlier. We were just talking about that earlier. So, you know what? I totally understand. I get it. I get it, and I don't get it.
Oh, trust me, I would have thought that I would have had a lot more Nintendo games. But
No,
every
it's just
time I
that
look
one
at an old
particular
that's
game.
$60.
That's an
What are
experience.
you
I mean,
talking
listen,
about? That came out as a 1. Someone put a 1 for that game.
Who?
That troll.
Oh no, he was a troll, man. That wasn't real. That guy was not real. That guy, man.
He hated the fact that
He's
he
a
came
bot.
up with all 10s. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is BS. I'm going to put a
Yeah,
1 there.
yeah.
And probably like me, had never played it.
It
But
is.
I wouldn't put a 1 on it.
It's
I watched people play it. I'm not going to
magnificent.
say it's the greatest
Yeah.
game ever because I haven't played it. I've
It's
watched people
magnificent.
play it.
You know what? I can tell you this, right, Dredd.
We're
It
judging. you.
made me spend probably $1,000 because of that game. And I'm gonna say because of the case that I brought with it after the fact. It was like this little case that you can get, like this Breath of the Wild case, and it looks like the pouch of the thing, and
Oh yeah.
all the amiibos that I purchased, and I would sit up every day because they have a reset cycle because it has a day-night time cycle, and you have to come back every 12 hours, and that's when you can use each amiibo. I had a table set up with amiibos, all of my amiibos out. A grown man, all my amiibos out, and I will sit there for at least 1 hour every day.
I did the
at
same
reset
thing, dude.
No.
and get my free stuff.
I mean,
did not do
I
that.
went as far as getting 2 cereal boxes, okay?
To scan them.
To scan them for nothing.
Oh,
Well, we scanned them for the Mario game, but still.
I'm at
Please
a
play
complete
the
loss of words.
Hey,
Like-
I want to buy him the
at
game
least
and
you
gift
know
it to
I will
him.
admit whatever and anything that I do and not lie. I
God
mean,
bless
something like
you.
that. Most people would have just lied and like, oh yeah, I play it. I
Yeah.
played it, right?
Yeah.
but the question
to-
is, why are you not playing it? It's a really good game.
that's the only way.
I
this
just
is,
haven't
you know,
gotten
I'm just
to it.
I'm crazy.
It's just every time I think about it, I'm nowhere near to buy it, and I just said forget it because I'd rather have Nintendo physically.
Okay.
So I'd rather have those physical cartridges. And by the way, have you ever
Wait,
tried
they
tasting
don't.
them?
They don't have it. They don't sell it no more physical.
Well, they do, I'm sure.
They
I
did,
just-
they did, they did.
when I'm in the store, I don't think about it.
Okay,
And
I'm gonna
when
text
I
you.
think about
Let
it,
me
I'm
know
like-
when you're inside Walmart or something.
I don't
hit
shop
Jack.
at Walmart either.
Damn it, man! Where do you shop so I can? You know what? I got to put a GPS on you to find out where you at.
That's what my wife says.
Oh my god! It took a turn.
I left. That's what I do, man. I squirrel.
Well, listen. Obviously, you got a lot of catching up, but you're probably. That's funny that you're gonna probably. Well, obviously, hopefully, you don't play Breath of the Wild 2 before you play Breath of the Wild 1.
Oh no, that'll never happen.
Because that game is a masterpiece. Dude, I could tell you this right now. As great as the game was, and a lot of people didn't like the breaking weapons. Whatever, you find enough of them, you don't got to worry about that. I spent hours like King doing the amiibo thing. I would line them up, bro. They'd be waiting there on the coffee table, and they would just be scan and whatever else. But
I don't believe you. Where's that gameplay?
Well, I don't have the gameplay, but I do have a shelf that I put out there. I got I got every amiibo except for I think 4 I'm missing from Japan. I have every amiibo. I collect
It's an
them
addiction that's crazy.
It's unbelievable. But more so than that, the amount of cooking that I did in that game was obscene. It was obscene how much cooking I did.
Yes.
Yeah, and I would cook and try different recipes, and you know what? I could go back to it now and still enjoy just cooking in that game.
I think I texted you and had to tell you they had amiibos in 5 and below for double deal sale, which was you buy 2 for $5. And it was 5 and below, and I was in there, and I filled my shopping cart with every amiibo that they had. and this lady was looking at me, was like, "Oh, you shopping early for your kid?" I said, "No, this is for me."
Oh, man. That's where we differ.
That's always the best thing when you admit that it's not for your kid, or
I'm
especially
like,
when your kid's with you, and she looks and she's like, "Yeah, I'm getting toys." It's like, no, this is for daddy.
Yeah,
My son doesn't even play with toys.
Well, listen, that saved you. I'm sure that saved you some bucks. But Crispy Bomb, let's get your opinion on this. The Nintendo Switch is it doesn't stay in stock. So I would imagine that a Switch Pro is going to be like trying to find water in the desert. Are you interested in getting one? But more importantly, do you believe the Bloomberg report?
it would make sense that it's true. I mean, it's kind of a mid-gen refresh at this point. I would want one if you can get one. That's the problem, and not just that. I want to hear more. I would rather like wait and see somebody break it down and tell me that those sticks are different, because that would be nice. Because they really haven't went about fixing that. I'm like, well, if you're going to bring out a premium version, it better be fixed. I'm sorry, and I'm not saying that other companies haven't pulled this BS. Like I've had plenty of Elite controllers that had stick drift, and it's annoying, and then you send it back, and you got to wait, and this and that. So, it would make sense. It's I wish they would like wait a whole year and then have enough for people to buy. I don't feel it's going to be a huge upgrade, at least maybe not docked, you know what I mean? And the battery life, I mean, if you're going to be pushing a higher resolution, how good is it going to be? Are you going to invest into a better battery, or are you just going to try to use the same thing and just kind of clock it the way it is, so it'll balance out to last as long as they say it will? So I don't know. It's I believe it, but I want to hear more.
Yeah, and I would imagine that as we get closer to E3, this could be their big reveal. Nintendo's going to do their Treehouse event, and as we get closer to June, which will be here before you know it. I mean, we're already into the third month of the year, and it feels like this month is already flying. And I would imagine that we're going to see some megaton announcements from all three companies. I don't know what Sony's going to be doing this year. I'm a little concerned. I think we get 3 games from them, maybe 3 games this year.
Get one good one.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to get Returnal. We know is coming. We're going to get Ratchet and Clank, which looks like a Pixar movie. It's Horizon Forbidden West that I'm concerned about. I think that's going to miss.
Oh, so is that and God of War. All that's pushed back.
God of War's not coming. That's not coming.
Everything's pushed back except for Ratchet.
Yeah, no, so I don't know what.
Maybe.
Well,
Returnal, which I'm not spending $70 on.
Yeah.
I've come to the realization.
$40.
No, that's $70. That's a $70 game.
Oh, that's in the bushes.
Yeah, that's a $70 game. That's confirmed. That is not no AA price. That is a premium AAA $70 Sony game, which I was very interested because I love that studio. But not for $70.
$74.99.
Why are we not getting much pushback on this 70? I'm really surprised. Like, the gaming industry gets really annoyed about things like this, but I think Sony are getting a pass from the community as such.
Yes.
Because there should be a lot more noise about this. And I'm 100%.
I got one for you. I was pulling stories for next week, because I always work a week in advance. Because I have 4 shows, you got to have stuff to talk about. And I pulled a story that was a bit of I don't know who to blame. Rockstar's head of the studio said that gamers are ready for $70 titles. They believe that. Take-Two believes that, and I'm like, well, then they're not talking to the people, because $75 per game is ridiculous. That's like import back in the day.
That is ridiculous.
That's I who heard their call, right? Sony. They're ready for $75. Okay, everything is $75. Everything is $75.
We also had the 99-cent menu back in the day.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to get that now. That is definitely for sure. But you know what I want to do? I want to catch up on 2 of the super chats, and I'm going to move on to the big topic of the day. And that is Sony and how they've treated the Japanese gamers. How many reports have come out? I got some quotes from several reports from last year, including one that just dropped. And folks, it looks as if Sony has backed away from the Japanese market in a big way, and they're feeling a type of way about it. And we're going to talk about that. And I know that Gaz is going to have a lot to say. So is Crispy. So is Dreadpool. But more importantly, so is King. King and I were talking prior to, and he is revved up and ready to go. And he's going to drop some bombs. So get ready. But the first super chat of the day comes in from a good friend of the show, Raiden Blade, who says, "Good afternoon, Boom and panel. I'm at work, frontline worker. Well, thank you for your service and be safe, my friend." He says, "Listening in on the Friday heat, sitting back with ears open." Well, get ready, brother, because we're going to be dropping some fire next. And our good brother, Smitty Smith, bringing us back to church once again. And he says this, Nintendo's slogan, "You will buy the Book of X." So let's get to the big topic of the day. Listen, here's the thing. We are seeing an incredible imagery happen in front of us. And I say that because Phil Spencer is running headfirst into Japan and Korea. And they're doing things that they're seeing success now, very early success that they have been waiting to see for many generations, many iterations of their hardware. And it turns out that Project X Cloud is a big thing in both of these regions. And it's a big thing because Japanese gamers and Korean gamers are what we like to consider the mobile market. And that, I mean, sure, there are people that still buy consoles, but that era of gaming has passed many years ago, and they have become a very mobile-esque market, which is why the Nintendo Switch is doing so well. And like the PlayStation 4, for instance, didn't do very well. And listen, you can only imagine what the Xbox sold, but now that they have xCloud, Phil Spencer has an ideology that they want to make that region of the world important to Xbox, the same way the EU is, the same is the US, the Western, the way Mexico and Argentina and our friends down under, these are regions that Xbox does very well in, but they just could not crack the Japanese and Korean markets, and that just changed. But what's interesting, in a story that I pulled from the pages of Gaming Bolt, the title article said this: it's official. Sony seems to be over Japan. Here's what that could mean for the future of PlayStation. Now, this first article that was written by Paramath over at Gaming Bolt told of Sony seemingly being done with the Japanese video game market, almost as if it was to vindicate his original point. Now, Sony has made some of its most decisive actions yet in terms of highlighting and broadcasting that to the world. In fact, this may shock a lot of people. They're closing Japan Studios, folks, one of their biggest and best, filled with the brightest developers. And if that doesn't ring the alarm for you, I don't know what personally will. Now, again, according to the story, Sony is shuttering Japan Studios, the prestige in-house Sony development team that ranks among its oldest and responsible for some of the most highly iconic and beloved and critically and commercially successful games, almost entirely, which is very, very shocking. Now, this story comes on the heels of Sony's PlayStation removing the ability for anyone who wants to watch and buy new movies or TV shows. They're closing that division down on the PlayStation, and if you do own digital content, you still will be able to watch it on demand on your console, but you will not be able to buy new movies, which is, again, a bit of a conundrum. Now, this, again, going back to the story, the couple of points that they bring up is Sony Japan, the development studio, is now mostly done, and Sony Japan, in terms of local marketing and support for Japanese third parties, as well as Sony's own Japanese IP, is being wound down. I mean, again, two major points. King, let's go to you because you're going to have a lot to say on this. Listen, they're moving in a direction that Microsoft is not. Microsoft is running into Japan, and it seems as if Sony is running from Japan. And this is not the first time that we hear this. Remember, this story originally broke again from Bloomberg in November, where they're basically reporting that Japan was now in the rear view mirror of Sony, which is pretty incredible. And that also was added on when they moved their headquarters from Japan to the US, which set a lot of people off in the industry. They were very surprised by this move. King, what is going on at Sony?
You guys don't like me, do you? You guys don't like me right now. He's coming back with too much ammunition. this guy has an AK-47 with a red beam. Ooh, with an unjammable clip. That means you're gonna get all of these.
I'm gonna jam that clip.
I know, right?
How hard are you gonna go on this? Like, I'm gonna.
Oh, okay, so check it out, right? I told you guys a long time ago, y'all really hate me being right, and I've been right more than I've been wrong. So the fact that I can come in here and toot my own home, beep beep, here we go, here we go.
That was remarkably accurate for your voice.
All right, so I told you guys before that Sony was consolidating, making itself more attractive. You're like, King, shut up. They ain't doing that. What? They closed the Europe offices. Yeah, they took the studios from Europe and they consolidated them and they moved a lot of the CEOs around and put them in different positions. Now, Sony no longer looks like the Sony that you knew when Sean Layden was in control, right?
Oh.
Jim Dance Moves Ryan is in the building. He's complicit. So
he's complicit.
He's complicit. He's complicit. He's down with the program. The program is to make sure that they bend the knee to Microsoft.
The Great Reset. That's what it is.
They're not gonna like this reset. This reset is very terrible. Now, I told you guys before, when you're making yourself prettier for another company to purchase your acquisitions to acquire you for the sale, you are killing dead weight. Sony of Japan, for Sony, the studio has been dead weight. All right, so what they do, they close it down. They start shifting and taking a lot of the lead programmers and stuff like that and putting them into different positions in different places. When they took their headquarters and put it in the United States and basically abandoning their roots, you moved your house and you got citizenship someplace else. If that's not telling you, yo, something's going down here, you're crazy. Now, when you make movies, distribute movies, you have filmmakers on payroll, you had your own video studio made for games. Remember Powers? That was funded and driven by Sony themselves and put on the Sony network.
Yeah.
You've yanked
Good job.
the ability for the people that purchased into your fake dream of this digital content to be streamed, purchased, and distributed by you. The company that is supposed to be a media mogul, you removed media from your brand new flagship console in its infancy. Shows that you are no longer viewing that as a viable option. So you're saying to yourself, okay, well, Netflix can still be there. They can get their movies and stuff other places, and the people that purchased it, it'll still be available for you, but no more. We're abandoning this thought. Why are you abandoning this thought? If you produce movies, it doesn't make any sense. But also the fact that you're abandoning Japan, your console is too big for their homes. I knew this when I first saw it. I said, it doesn't look pleasing to the culture's eye.
Right, for sure. Yeah.
That console was big. That's why the PlayStation 3 was a flop over there. Remember how big the PlayStation 3 was when you first got it? The George Foreman grill? Humongous. Humongous. But this thing here, this new thing here, the oh my God, that thing is it is Godzilla-like. No pun intended.
Yeah.
But it is Godzilla-like. It is enormous. Now, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yes.
Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer wants to do something no other Xbox CEO has. Conquer Japan. That under his belt is his driving force. Why is he moving headlong in there? Armed.
Is he moving headlong in there?
Headlong.
That's a very limp wristed approach to it.
No,
as far
it's
as
not.
I don't know, man.
No.
I think what they're doing is
What
all
are
the
they doing?
moves. It appears that listen, I think King's onto something here, because as every time you hear a negative story about Sony pulling themselves away from their home turf. You hear a story with Microsoft; they get out there on purpose, and Phil talks about how important Japan is for them. I think he sees this, and he's taking advantage of
I'm gonna show you how petty my man is. I'm gonna show you how petty my man is.
Show you.
This is why I rock with my man. Sony did not want to fund Death Stranding 2. Right?
Yeah.
Phil,
Don't blame them.
Dominus, Maximus Aurelius Spencer, just on his little live stream, no longer than a week ago, had a nice Kojima statue. That statue is $1,500. Okay, $1,500.
You know the
statue
price
man,
of it.
baby. I'm a statue man, baby. It's not there for no reason. These statues is here for a reason. This statue right here is $2,000 and some change. This statue right here is $6,000, and this wall is incredible.
6,000.
Okay, so let me tell you something right now. These are visual effects that he is capturing your eye, and he's making you question what's going on in the background. Now you're wondering what's all the speculation about him talking to Kojima. Do you understand what that would be? What type of reverberation?
I put it this way,
industry?
King. It's so important. This is now the third time this week we're talking about it on this particular channel, because that Lumen statue that's there, that's Kojima Productions. And if you look at his new office that he's never podcasted from or did an interview from, it's standing so politely next to the biggest Xbox logo. And you know what? We have it on good authority that everything on that shelf meant something. And Paris Lilly, I'm a good friend of him, and of course what those guys do over at the Xcast. He actually had said something that was really interesting during the live stream of last week's episode, and he said his dream. And you would know it sounds like a great dream to me, is if Microsoft did go out and get the IP for Metal Gear from Konami, because they're looking to shop it. Go back to Kojima and say, hey, listen, we want you to go crazy. You know why he would do it? A, because he's a prideful MF, and 2, he's a spiteful MF. And this would be his ultimate FU to Konami. And also, he would be telling Sony, you see, you treated me like dirt after my game didn't sell. You tossed me to the side, and now I'm hanging out with Big Phil, who's got big bucks.
Okay. Why are y'all blowing my mind today? Why are you doing this to me?
Could you imagine that? A Metal Gear Solid remake or an original Metal Gear Solid
Listen.
5,
If
6,
they do
whatever.
if they do that, I'm telling you live on the. Okay, this is the deal. This is the deal, guys. This is the deal.
Started.
How many people's in the chat?
We have 350.
Okay, 350. I want y'all to clip this part right here. This is the part I want you to clip. All right, I want y'all to clip this part right here. Send this part to your friends. If Microsoft went and purchased the license to do Metal Gear, any Metal Gear, I don't care which one that Kojima was part of, and they go to Kojima and give Kojima Studios the ability to make that game, I will take my PlayStation 5 upstairs and go to my backyard and bury it because it's dead. I will do it on air. I will dig a hole and throw it in there and put a little coffin, a little tombstone over the top of it and let you know my PlayStation is dead. Because if that happens, it's over, baby. Don't let them do that. PlayStation, please do not allow them to do that. Don't allow them to do that.
Wait,
it'll be fine, because by that time they'll have a refresh and you can get a PlayStation Slim or Pro. You'll be fine.
Oh my god! But that Stranding was crap. Why are we so hyped about?
Here's the thing. Look, I'm going to be the first one to tell you. When Death Stranding, the memes are out there. If you remember, Dealer Gaming did an incredible video meme that was just it's ridiculously funny. And I was on the fence. For me, I love Sony's first party games. I truly look forward to them. That's the one game I didn't buy. But months later, my brother winds up gifting me the game. He says, "Listen, Craig, I want you to play this game. I got 90 hours in this game." I said, "You 90 hours? What are you talking about? This is incredible." And I started playing it. And don't you know, 70 something hours later, I'm close to beating it. And I got to tell you, Yes. Does the game have its, are you on foot most of the game? Sure. Does the game have, some wackiness to it? Absolutely, 100%. But there was something unique with that game that I've never seen done before in all the years I've gaming. For a single player game, its multiplayer aspect was mind bending. And what I mean by that is you could leave your game and you knew that on the other side of the map, you needed to build a bridge, you needed to build this. You would come back and people from the community would have built that for you and left supplies for you. It was the most unbelievable thing I've ever played. Now, granted, was it my game of the year? Was it in my top 10? No. Did it look beautiful? Sure. But I'll say this, and I talked about this multiple times, Gaz, and I'm going to get your opinion. First of all, I want you to talk about Sony pulling out of Japan. Mm-hmm. But I also want you to kind of touch on this. Microsoft is looking to do something that they've never done in Japan, and that is win. Mm-hmm. And even if they don't overtake Sony or they overtake Nintendo, which they're not going to do, and Phil Spencer actually said that, we are not going to beat them. You can still be relevant, but how do you become relevant? You put a game like Metal Gear from Kojima on the Xbox in Xbox Game Pass that's exclusive, not on PlayStation, not on Nintendo. And you know what that does? The name and the game does for Microsoft? It immediately skyrockets them to every breaking news in that country. What are your thoughts on them about Sony leaving? But more importantly, what Phil Spencer's looking to do, seeing, I think I would take the words right out of King's mouth here, a form of weakness for Sony in this region.
Let me be the voice of reason. King David's been firing far too many shots on this point. Yo, no one gave a damn about these games. Japan's studio was a great studio. Gravity Rush didn't make the big wave that it did. The Last Guardian, in my opinion, when Game On Daily wasn't a news aggregation platform, I gave it a 4 out of 10, and I was raked through the coals for my review on it. The game, they're consolidating. That studio hasn't had many hits, and it didn't perform well. Astrobot is being, they're not abandoning Astrobot, they're just kind of rejigging that so that survives. So it's really them just trimming the fat. They've had their failures, and there's a lot of trimming going on. So whilst I get it, I love the fact that King David says that they just relinquished their citizenship. I would never, if I said that, Asa would kill me. But I will repeat that just on King's authority. But it's interesting. What's funny is that whilst Xbox are trying to make inroads, trying is an operative word in Japan, and Sony are shutting down the studio, which is so funny because they were so quick to. The PlayStation are so quick to fire shots at Xbox when Scalebound failed or not supporting Japan. I think it's really they have a Game Pass is their Trojan horse into Japan. It's their only gateway in there. If they do something like what you're alluding to, that is, and I don't want to understate this. It's industry shattering as far as the gaming industry is concerned. Metal Gear not coming on PlayStation but coming on Xbox or the family of consoles or Game Pass. It's going to create a seismic shift where it's going to create in the core gaming.
It's going to create a hole in my backyard.
It's going to create a hole in your backyard. It's going to create a hole in the backyard of a lot of PlayStation guys for different reasons. And you're right. That's going to be. I've already witnessed. So we had David Jaffe on, and he's a really great guy, the creator of God of War.
Yeah.
He could not stop waxing lyrical about Game Pass. He said that as far as he was concerned, this is a guy who never released a bloody game on Xbox. He worked exclusively for PlayStation.
Yeah, we're getting him next.
Yeah. He was saying like out of the two, the Xbox is the most exciting prospect. That Sony's model was archaic, but he's expecting them to do a U-turn. We all are, because no way they're not going. They are eye-watering observations on Game Pass on Sony's end.
Could you imagine, really quickly, sorry for cutting you, David Jaffe actually doing a real God of War, not that crap that we got, of the real God of War that's actually a sequel to actually all the good games that came before, not this little side quest thing, but actually a real good God of War. Could you imagine? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh my God.
In Game Pass only, with some other dude named not Kratos, but Kratos, something like that, like just something just really David Jaffe-ish. I would love it.
Oh man, David Jaffe. Well, the problem with that is that Phil Spencer needs to unblock David Jaffe because he's blocked him on Twitter. So that might not actually happen, Mr. God of, or Good of War, whatever you want to call this ripoff.
Good of War.
Good of War.
Good of War 1.
Yeah, exactly.
With Kratos.
Kratos.
Instead of a son, he can have a daughter and say, "Girl."
I'm dead.
That's amazing.
Girl.
What if he named it Phil of War?
Yo.
I would buy that.
Yo.
Straight up.
What if hey, I'm just saying the world is full of possibilities and every man has a redemption song and he might get unblocked tomorrow.
Yeah,
you never know.
It's true. I was hoping they would maybe Phil would just take note of it.
Gaz, you know what I want you to do? Obviously, what you guys do over at Game On Daily, right? You guys are about reporting the news, and you again, if you're not subscribed, if you're not checking them out, please by all means get over there and subscribe and check out Game On Daily. I think that they deserve your sub. I think they deserve your time because the work that they do is incredible. You said something earlier in your conversation that is important to this particular conversation, and that is the seismic shift in ideology that would come for Xbox if they pulled off something as big as a Kojima Metal Gear for Xbox. And I've been talking about this for almost the entire week. I've talked about their march into Japan. I talked about Kojima, that statue and the Xbox logo meaning something. But I want to take it further because if there's one way, like Sony's on their way out, and they're getting a lot of negative press over it. Bloomberg's reporting on it. Many of the gaming websites that we go to read news is reporting on it. And it's not falling on deaf ears. People are starting to notice. But what could work in Microsoft is advantage is something big like Kojima, even if they don't buy the studio, because a lot of people think it's going to be that they're going to him to make an exclusive game, and that makes sense. If they don't want to get Kojima Productions in XGS, I hear you, but my God, would it be news if Kojima was working exclusive with Xbox? But wouldn't it be world-shattering news that they were working on a Metal Gear? I mean, think about the ramifications of what that would do for Xbox marching into Japan.
That'd be very unlikely if I think that would be. I think it's very unlikely it would be Metal Gear, but if it was, that's crazy. I just think the mere notion, if it happens, man, I'm not saying it won't happen, but I'll be very shocked. That will send shockwaves around the industry because that's just insane.
I just really had a vivid image of Twitter just throwing up. Twitter, the actual app. Every app everybody app would just go.
It would be insane. It would be insane because this is. I'll give you a perspective. I interviewed the community manager at Konami, and this interview went viral because the guy said, because I asked him, I said, how can you? This is off the back of the departure from Kojima. I said, how can you make a Metal Gear game without Kojima? And he said, we can do it. Look at Metal Gear Solid Rising. And maybe this is why our channel gets very low views for the quality we put out, because we've got such a massive ratio. Even though I didn't say it, I was just interviewing the guy who said it. Look, Kojima is a force to be reckoned with, more likely than the Konami working on a Metal Gear Solid exclusive is Kojima Productions working with Microsoft. Again, I don't want to understate the importance of that, nor do I want to overstate it, but I think people should recognize that that is a statement of intent for the Japanese market, especially because that will show that you are serious. Phil has made a lot of inroads in Japan. A lot of games that are coming out in Japan, but what we haven't seen is the Lost Odysseys like we did on the 360.
The fruits of his labor.
The fruits of his
yeah, I mean, see, this is what you're looking for. You're looking for the fruits of his labor, his hard work that he has put out there inside that market. I just want to say this, right? Because I'm thinking about it, and what makes a little bit more sense is we all know that I told you before that Death Stranding was Kojima's 808 The Heartbreaks, Kanye West's breakup song. I mean, breakup album that he did with Amber Hart. You understand? Amber Rose, 808 The Heartbreaks. And I think that was one of his seminal albums, but it was an acquired taste. The same way Death Stranding is an acquired taste, but it was Kojima's breakup game from Konami. Now, let's just say the next album that came up, which is My Dark Fantasy, which is whatchamacallit, Kanye's West, probably his best work. I think his best work is to be had. And if it's a new game on a Microsoft platform that's in Game Pass, I think that reverberates a lot stronger and a lot more powerfully because it's a new IP in Game Pass that will force people to, you can't play this no place else. You can go play the old Metal Gears wherever, but you cannot play this no place else. And it's his new project. And if it's a home run, if it's a 10 out of 10, if it's Kojima on full Kojima mode, shout out to Slow Mo Backslap. I honestly, because he said don't let Kojima go full Kojima. I honestly believe that will hit a whole lot harder if that was able to happen.
In Japan as well, because of Game Pass. Can you imagine?
Yes.
Can you imagine?
Yes.
That to me is crazy. Like I have stepped back. I haven't commented on it until this show because you've expressly asked me to comment on it. But like internally, like WhatsApp groups and stuff, we were just like me and Cole, and we're like, what was that going to happen? Can you imagine? But I think it'll be huge. When King David, when you came on our show, you left quite an impression on me, and this whole demise of Sony becoming a third-party publisher or something, whatever. Funny.
You think it's a joke, right? You think it's an absolute game, but
I don't. This is what I'm trying to say. I've thought it over. I've thought it over. I've been talking. Look, the Microsoft are making this is unprecedented now. If they can conquering Japan as a whole, being relevant in Japan,
let's be relevant.
Let's crawl before we can run. But they're doing everything they have to. Right now, they're so aggressive that everything's on the cards. This is a stark contrast from what we had. I wrote an article in 2013 saying this is going to happen. This is how much of a G I am, but no one respects me. No, go
for it. Toot your own horn. Go for it.
Let me toot my horn a little bit. In 2013, I wrote an article that said this is exactly the gen Microsoft deserved and it needs for it to understand the gaming market. And I'll pull that in. And you can get it from Game On Day, like literally those historic archives. I'll pull it out. And I said they will strive and struggle. They'll have to get studios on board, but they will be a force to be reckoned with. But they will be at a crossroads. They either do this or they don't. And Phil Spencer literally enthused about this exact same crossroad literally happening with a conversation with Satya Nadella. But even back then, in 2013, I would have never imagined in the wildest imaginations that we'd be sitting here talking about the state that Microsoft is in now.
I did.
Yeah, well, you may have. I did not. I was very pessimistic.
You know why I did? Because I had a chance to look at a man in his eyes. My avatars, if you go to Xbox right now, anybody goes to Xbox right now and they add me, King David OTW, see me and Phil.
Why haven't you added me? But okay.
Well, hey, you didn't add me. Shut up. Nobody needs to know our business. But I'm saying is his ability to see, and I know he wants better for the platform. He wants better for the platform, and being a ground from the ground up. He's the poster child for working for a company literally from the bottom to become the boss in something that's meaningful to you he's the poster child for that. And to do that, he takes a certain level of pride. And I'm telling you, when he was on the show with he's a very competitive individual, because you can see the stuff that he's trying to do and trying to achieve. It works out for us guys because we get a chance to get the fruits of his labor. But not to be moaned apart of Microsoft at all. This is really not Microsoft segment. This is really all about Sony leaving Japan and what's going to happen to them in doing so. But you said that I felt that they were going to become a third-party publisher. It has begun. It already has begun with MLB The Show.
Yeah, you're going to start seeing more of their games. I mean, listen,
on Microsoft platform.
100%. Here's the thing. King, again, is onto something because Jim Ryan had an interview just last week where he straight up said the PlayStation community is not enough for the AAA money we are spending on these games. He said that.
If I get Last of Us on the Xbox, you might as well just, I'm taking my PlayStation in the backyard and I'm going to bury it.
It's not the PC. At least it's on PC.
I mean, listen, listen, no one's saying they're closing down PlayStation, but you're going to start seeing, the traditional PlayStation that we saw with the PS4, I hate to tell you, is gone. It's not long gone because they haven't packed up and moved across the country yet. They're working on it. And they're starting to do little things. And you know what they say about building a dam? It starts with just the first log that goes down. And you build it until it's done. And that is, by the time we see the finished picture, this is going to be a very different PlayStation. But let me get Crispy Bomb's opinion on this. Crispy, look, here's the thing. This turned into an Xbox, and I say this all the time, with no disrespect to one platform or the other. I support them all. You can't talk about PlayStation without talking about Xbox, and you can't talk about Xbox without talking about PlayStation. That's the reality. The main crux of the conversation is Sony's pulling out of Japan. I know some people in the chat are like, no, Boom, you're wrong. They're just look at the sales. That PS5 sell out instantly. You know what? You're right. But PlayStation 5 could be dropped on the moon and it would sell out because it's just hard to find.
And so would the Series S's and
all consoles would sell out right now because of the pandemic and everyone's home and everybody wants the game. I don't think that we could walk away from this conversation without saying that, yeah, there's some big changes coming to Sony. But more importantly, follow that up with, Phil Spencer potentially spearheading a big push into Japan because Sony's pulling out. And I think what news that would do for them. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm with King, and it's concerning. I mean, I'm not a huge PlayStation fan, but I grew up with it, and at one point I was, not ish talking, but I definitely was a huge fanboy for PlayStation, and when they rebranded the PlayStation Studios, that was a tall tale sign to me that eventually they're going to have to do a U-turn, as we were talking about, and really make strives to survive. And I mean, I'm not saying they're going to go the way of Sega, but I think about it. Okay, Sega they failed at a launch. Okay, and we all know that the PlayStation was actually supposed to come out before the Series X, so the PS5 was supposed to come out before. We don't know what it cost them to revamp. We don't know if they were already in production. We have no idea. All I could say is that as of late, they are consolidating. They're Xing non-profitable parts of their business. Okay. Just like the media thing, that is actually a big deal. If you look at it through a magnifying glass, you can see that them not selling movies and TV shows on their platform is a cost-cutting measure. And when you are doing cost-cutting measures, despite some of your consumers still purchasing those products, that is actually a bad sign. Okay. And this is where we go and say Microsoft can afford to bleed money. Okay. Because the end goal is them to be super profitable and their profits to skyrocket. And that is their whole point. That's why you see so much investment right now. and they're going to continue to invest. And just like the Kojima thing, what better individual himself, one person to put on your platform, you know, to use his name recognition, and possibly because Konami is basically looking like they're getting ready to sell off all of their IPs, and you have Kojima sitting there, probably a little mad at Sony right now, and he has at one point worked with Xbox. Okay, they had a falling out, but fences can be mended. And at this point, he's feeling a little more angry at Sony than Xbox, who, you know, may have did him wrong a long time ago, in his opinion. You know what I mean? And
it's a much different Microsoft now, right?
Exactly.
Those same people aren't there. Phil Spencer is the one doing the handshaking.
Yes. and baby kissing. He kissing them babies.
And what a better but look at like King said, that's over $1,000 statue, and you got Phil sitting here like, yeah, I got this, Kojima, like you know, we got, you know what I mean? I see you because I will say this, you know, as a gamer myself, I understand that people enjoy what they want to play, and that's the whole point. And for as strange of a game Death Stranding was, there are so many people that actually enjoyed it. I don't think they were lying. They enjoyed it. Okay. And that's the whole point. Like, he may have brought out a product that didn't sell, but that doesn't mean it's not worthy of being a game. And Game Pass is the perfect example of games that people may have never played or anything else. Now you get more eyes on it. So you tap Kojima and you do a new Metal Gear, or even even if you did another Death Stranding, I think people would at least give it a shot because it's on Game Pass. And one last point. Did you just see what Game Pass dropped on there? They dropped almost every single major sports title onto Game Pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of the big ones too.
And Madden, 2K.
And Football Manager. Listen, maybe Football Manager may not be the biggest here in this country, but folks, that's a big AAA soccer game.
Let me say this one point, because Crispy brought up something that was insane, right? You know, boom, if you, let's say you go to the store right now, right, and you didn't, it wasn't no pre-canned stuff, you just went to the store and you see a guy shopping inside the store and he has a Breakfast with Boom t-shirt on.
I literally would fall on the floor, to be honest.
So he has a Breakfast with Boom t-shirt on. He goes, hey, Boom, I watch your show. I went to the store. I love your programming. You know, I purchased a shirt, man. Can I get an autograph? Or can I get a picture with you? Are you inclined to take a picture with that guy?
Hell yeah, because I'm nobody.
Now say this. Let's say this. Let's say you're really upset. You got your stomach ache. You're all messed up, but the guy got your shirt on. You're still gonna take the picture, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, same scenario. A guy comes up to you and he hears you talk and he goes, oh, Boom, hi, stomach hurt. I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. Can I take a picture with you? Which guy are you more inclined with? Don't have on the shirt, no merch, no nothing. Said, I heard about you before. I think I know you. That Boom guy, right? You the Boom guy.
You know what the truth? You know what the truth of the matter is, because I'm such a gentleman, and and my wife calls me Captain America. Even if I shit my pants, I'd still take a picture with the guy. Like straight up, I would just shit my pants and take a picture with him, because you know what? That's what he wanted, and I gave him.
No, okay. So I'm just saying this to say that.
So the next E3, I'm blocking the bathroom door to get a picture.
Hey, yo, please, no, because he drives with me.
Actually, if you want to go into it, I did steal his car.
He drove it like he stole it.
Unofficially.
It was amazing too. But I just say that to say this, right? Could you imagine Kojima just looking at Phil's live stream or whatever and seeing that $1,500 statue behind him?
Oh, he definitely want to call him and be like, "Listen, where's the bag of money? I'm in." And Phil just called him, hey man, how you doing? I know things was rough before with some other stuff, but it's a whole new thing, and I just want to talk to you. I just want to feel it. I want to have a conversation. I think he's more inclined to that individual that has invested into him without even, how can I say, having that conversation first, just having the pure fandom
to invest and to display his love for the guy. I'm just saying.
What? Come on, man! You're saying that kind of like as a display of love. He's just look,
Let me tell you something. If I ever go inside a gym and a dude is wearing an Iron Lord shirt and I can walk in, King David, and I'm gonna go take the picture with him, together, because you have invested in me because you genuinely care. You know, it's an investment.
I think
right?
he's sliding in his DMs already, man. They don't need that show
I think
of
so
affection.
too. I'm just saying, man.
If Microsoft wants to make it happen, it will happen, David.
Yes.
And
Well, you know what? Here's the thing.
stopping them.
What's interesting about that is it's no secret they are dropping bags of money off like crazy, and they are able to do things that other companies just can't do. And I'm not saying Sony can't do it. What I'm saying is that Sony. They can't do it. But
Not at the scale. Not at the scale Microsoft.
Yeah, they can't do it. They go to the club and they can throw a bag of nickels and some quarters. They're not sitting there busting down racks of thousands. They're not doing it. We're gonna stop acting like Sony got these bags of money and they can make these same moves. They can't. They can buy DLC. They can buy games for time exclusives. They can do things on business partner deals and hey man, maybe you can help me out, man, type of stuff. But they are not going in there saying I want to buy the mall. They don't have I want to buy the mall money. And these guys got to really wake up and see what's going on. Smell it. Because I'm telling you right now, you're cruising for a bruising.
Yeah, but if I'm going to take that analogy, then if we're going, let's go by the club analogy, and the club is in Japan, then Sony are the people who already have all the beautiful women and the crew there in the club, and Microsoft is that douchey guy making it rain, trying to be relevant. It's like, hey, I've got a table, guys. Open drinks session. There's bottles free for everyone. It's just gonna be like,
and then one girl is gonna look over, and that's Kojima, and she's gonna be like, "Is that a diamond ring? Oh my god! I love that!" And then once Kojima go over, all the other girls is gonna be like, "Oh my god, Kojima over there too! Are you crazy? What are y'all popping bottles over here? This is insane! Oh, what is this? I know you have money. Like y'all got money, but this is money. This is like change your life type of thing. So stop acting like that. Then once they leave that other little side of the bar over there, Sony is sitting there right there scratching their head like, how did this happen to me? How did I just lose all my women in one shot? How did this happen to me? I cannot believe this. What did this guy came in here? What is this bling bling thing? What did he do? And then all my women leave. All of them.
So basically,
someone make this into a short, please.
Phil stepped up for karaoke and then left.
Phil stepped up for karaoke and he left. Yeah, exactly. That's actually a pretty good analogy.
I'll say this, there's a lot of interest in Microsoft. I mean, obviously, I think at the forefront, they're doing some different things. I think the money has a tremendous amount to do with it. I mean, look at the original designer of Ninja Gaiden. He came out a couple of weeks ago, and he's back into gaming, right? He's Valhalla Studios. He's sold, and he went back to teaching. He wanted to teach about games. Now he's back in the industry. He has a new company. He came right out and said, not only am I an Xbox guy, not only would I love to work with them, but my studio is ready to be acquired if they want it. Now his name is as big as Kojima's. And I think that Microsoft needs some big names to push their way into Japan when at the same time Sony seems to be leaving it. So Dreadpool, let's get your opinion. But before I do, Dreadpool, let me catch up with some of these super chats. And folks, P.S. by the way, we're closing in on 500 live viewers, which is insane. And if you are new, we say welcome with open arms. We love that you took the time to be here. Double Barrel Gaming does this 4 times a week. That's right, 4 live shows weekly. And they're all, 2 of them are multi-plat, 2 of them are Xbox. And you know what? We have fun, but you know what? We don't go down the negative path here. We have a lot of fun with it, and we do bring facts. All of the work that I do is done by me. I fact check everything myself, and you know what? Every week it's 4 shows. Sometimes you even get lucky and get a 5th. Real quick, Reggie Mobile 9, a very generous friend of the show. He drops on 11/11, my favorite number to wish something on. Super chat. He says, "Great show and amazing panel boom. Just appreciating Happy Friday, everyone." Well, dude, thank you for the generosity. I definitely appreciate that. Crazy Horse, another generous friend of the show. Hey, welcome back, dude. Haven't seen you in a minute. He drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Xbox and the Bloomberg team make Silent Hill with the help of Kojima."
That's
Dude,
crazy.
that's a megaton right there, and I love it. Lord Roughness drops an outstanding $5 super chat. Thank you for being here. He says, "Sorry, a part of me believes MLB The Show is an olive branch to get some of those Bethesda bangers."
Nope, no
That's
soup for
tiny
you.
olive branch.
Yeah, that's definitely the no soup for you. And a very good friend of the show, friend of this community, Joe Dunmore, drops an outstanding $5 super chat. And he says, "Coffee and comedy with Boom and Friends." Yeah, dude, it's all about laughs here. But Dreadpool, obviously, you know, we're still joking about what's going to happen. When you see one company leaving the region, and they're being very adamant about it, they're not sneaking around corners. When you close Japan studios, you're making a statement. When you move your headquarters from Japan to the US, you're making statements. When also making statements is Microsoft's and some of the things that Phil Spencer had to say about how it actually physically hurts him when a game from Japan is released only on other platforms and not Xbox. And getting a big name like Kojima in there to make an exclusive game for Xbox is a big deal. What are your thoughts on both fronts?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but first, did you read Quirky Purple's super chat?
I did not. Let me see. It's over here.
Okay, I just didn't want to miss any.
Okay, no, I appreciated that. Where?
I
You know
put it in
what?
the private.
Thank you so much, Quirky Purple, dude. Thank you so much for not only being here, as always. Definitely appreciate your support. He drops an outstanding $5 super chat, and I was saved because I would have been so upset with myself. I really do get like physically upset when I miss them because you guys don't owe me anything. I definitely appreciate the support. He says this after dropping a $5 super chat. "It's Friday. Happy gaming to everyone. Peace." Well, thank you so much for being here. And Paul Grant actually just drops a super chat. Paul, first of all, welcome to the program, brother. He drops a $5 super chat and says, "King, that was hilarious, man. I just spit my coffee everywhere. Keep up the great content, guys."
Thank you, brother.
But yeah, please take it away, Dredd. I'm always interested
All
to
right.
hear your point of view because you do attack these topics not only from a gamer's point of view, but from a businessman's point of view, and that's what we love having you on this show about.
See, and that's the thing is, what we see are little snippets, right? So we're piecing together stuff. You know, we're playing the private eye, but we're amateurs, right? We're not Batman. We're just amateurs, right? So we're playing chess. I'm sorry, we're playing checkers in a chess game. You know what I mean? So we're like, what is this? What is this rook doing? We don't even know how to call it a rook. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we're doing now. We're trying to piece together and figure out what's going on. I mean, did anybody forget what happened with Sega?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they did it to themselves. So Sony's just like any other company are trying to make sure they stay alive. Microsoft did the same way back when. Xbox has done the same way back when. They have to figure out their moves. And some of these moves might mean something. Some of these moves might mean something else. You know, so for them to do this, what did we say before? They haven't pushed out anything like really fire, basically. I mean, everything's been decent, but nothing's been a banger of sorts. I mean, it just depends on who you are as a fan. I mean, if you're a fan of these games that they pushed out, yeah, you're going to say it's a banger, but overall, the majority says nay. You know, so for them shutting it down, they didn't just fire all these top-notch employees. They moved them somewhere. You know, they moved them somewhere they can use them. So when you're doing stuff like this, right, it's like a football, you know.
I'm just thinking they took a quarterback and made him a wide receiver.
Right.
You get out there and you catch that ball. You're not throwing balls no more because the way you throw balls is they suck. So you out there, you catching balls now. You get out there, you go to Naughty Dog and you draw heads.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. A lot of these guys think that these devs are the quarterback and wide receiver at the same time, or you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
you can't do it all. You know, so if you need somebody to go to another team, shift out or shift down to go to a smaller team to build them up, you know, I mean, it happens all the time. You're not playing up. You know, you got to go
But
back
Dredd,
down.
like to lean in onto you said you said it before, right? You said these companies, and you've been part of companies that have done measures like this. You know, you build a house and you build a back door behind you just to make sure that you're able to escape when the heat is burning in front. Consolidating. I want you to touch on what consolidation means to you in business terms.
By the way, sorry, just to clarify, they didn't consolidate everyone. They actually laid off a few staff, and the Asobo team were consolidated because they had something that was of quality. So we have to be careful that people have lost their jobs.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying nobody lost jobs. People lose jobs regardless. I mean, even in my companies that I've worked in, when they consolidated for sales, which we didn't know that they were consolidating for sales. We thought they were just, you know, being cheap. But they were consolidating to stay alive, to make sales. And this is multiple companies. So they're trying to look as profitable as possible before they sell themselves, right? Or sell off that division, right? So that way they could stay alive. They're selling off this little division over here that is basically bleeding out their money. You know, so you're trying to stop the bleeding. You're trying to, you know, look as great as you can. I mean, you don't go into a fight with your head down like, hey, we're going to go for it. No, man, you puff up your chest. You know, you getting ready for the flinch. You know, come on. You know, you're putting your best foot forward. But in the meantime, you're underpowered. You're the underdog.
So then you're bluffing. You're playing.
Exactly.
You're playing a game of poker, and right now you got on your best poker face, and you're trying to act like you're strong, but you're weak as hell, and you don't have a royal flush. You got like none of your cards is matching. You're just sitting there, just hoping that the other guy makes a mistake. But right now, Phil ain't making no mistakes, and he got a royal flush.
Well,
so
okay.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you dudes better be ready. Because he pushed all his chips in the middle, and I don't know how much your bank got, but I don't think you got bank like my man got bank though.
You're sick with the analogies. They actually make a lot of sense. The club made sense, and the poker table makes sense. They've got Sony's chip stack is abysmal compared to what Microsoft's is. I mean, that's just fact. That's just fact. It's not even comparable. It's almost insulting. But in the gaming space, it's not Sorry to interrupt you, Dredd. It's not unlimited fundage anyway, because this is the Xbox brand should be just distinguished from Microsoft as a whole. But it's still.
I mean, to be fair, Gaz, to your point, they did make $5 billion in a quarter.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And what's interesting with that? What's interesting with that particular point? And you're right. A lot of people, and I guess I've put myself out there. You know, Microsoft is Xbox, Xbox is Microsoft. Everyone's money's together. No, they're separate divisions for sure. But we have to remember this important point. We have to remember this important point. I'm going to throw up something up on the screen real quick. I want everyone to take a look. I have been, while we're on this live on the air, I was putting this together, and I'm working already on Monday's show. Here is what Monday's show is going to be about. Take a look at this. Here we go. This is the Xbox. The show is titled "The Xbox Exclusive Onslaught That No One Is Talking About." Folks.
Oh, you suck so much because I'm literally doing a video on that.
Oh my God, that's freaking hilarious. Well, listen, I will support your video, but yeah, that's the crux of the story that we're going to be talking about. And real quick, Warfighter Gaming not only drops an outstanding $2 super chat, but a monster point. ZeniMax purchase has been approved 2 hours ago in the EU.
Okay, here's
be careful.
Okay, time out, because I'm getting ready to leave right now. But I'm gonna say this part, right? Thank you for giving me that update, bro. Thank you for giving me that update, bro. Because that was the only big sticking point, because they had to do some stuff over there in the EU, and they had to make it look like we're not going to turn into a monopoly.
Yeah.
Conglomerate monopoly. Anyway, so back to this bag, right?
Oh, that laugh, dude. Oh my God.
Back to the cash, back to the bag, baby.
Oh man, I got me.
All right, now see, this is the part where it gets really nasty. Now, first, I'm gonna give you a little consolidation prize. All right, for all you PlayStation dudes, I'm gonna give you a little prize. This is a prize. The reason why Sony made their Sony Studios, right, is because that deal that they made with Epic has an Epic store. They can produce games and put games inside the Epic store under the Sony brand. Look, guys, there you go. Take a deep breath. Don't think all is doom and gloom and they're going to make games only for Microsoft. That is the escape hatch. That is the escape hatch. All right. So let's say right now, Game Pass hits 50 million subscribers.
50?
Let's say they hit 50 million subscribers. Sony will then say, because they're a studio,
yeah,
how the hell can I get a piece of this pie?
Mm-hmm.
How the hell can I get a piece of this pie? Well, what I can do is I can produce my old games that I do have that I'm putting on PC, that I'm putting over here, and I'm putting inside my PlayStation now, that, you know, isn't really doing all that well. But if they have 50 million, I can reach that same 50 million right now with one of my old games.
Yeah.
And I produced this old game inside that space and that ecosystem. And if that becomes lucrative, and I told you, Dan Smooth Ryan is compliant. If it is lucrative, he can bring it upstairs and say, yo, check this out, man. We made X amount of dollars. What did y'all make X amount of dollars on? Remember that first Last of Us that we did right there? Yo, they got this boost mode over there. So we just threw it over there, and they just threw boost mode on top of it. And it got crazy over there. And them dudes is loving it. Like, they really loving it. So what we thinking is, maybe we can get more of our old games. Remember Heavy Rain? Throw Heavy Rain over there. I mean, you know, we're not making no money off of Heavy Rain. Just throw Heavy Rain over there. Those dudes will eat it up. You think they eat it up? Let's just see. Next week we do it. They do it. Heavy Rain hits. What happens?
King, let me just stop you right there. I'm gonna tell you this right now. If I ever see God of War with an Xbox logo, I'm going to bury myself next to your PS5 in your backyard.
And you know what? Listen,
I'm going to bury myself and hold and ask you to please throw the dirt on me while I'm holding your buried PS5.
I think that's the very last resort. But I do believe they have a ton of old IPs that they do have that they're doing nothing with and becoming a studio.
I can see Detroit Become Human coming over to the Xbox.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
those games like that, those games that didn't hit, that they invested so much money in, that they can get a recoup. And if they can get a recoup off of IPs that are sitting there that are done and dead with, trust me, they can make a buck, and they would do it.
I
I've
can
never
go
thought
to
about
PC
that.
first.
Yeah.
I can even see Death Stranding coming to the Xbox.
Well, if Kojima get over there, if they want to get back in his good graces. Well, listen, guys, I got to check out of here. I have a memorial service on the ILP channel. I have to get prepared for that. It's been great being able to laugh, because I haven't been able really. If anybody knows me on Twitter, I have not been on Twitter really. Have not been messing around with no social media, to be honest with you, because the passing of Nintendo Guru, and then followed by a dear friend and iDizzy and the COO of Lognet, it really took a complete absolute toll on me.
Yeah,
I was doing a lot of reflecting, a lot of introspectives, a lot of looking at old pictures, family pictures, stuff like that. Just trying to find my special meaning, not anything else, but in that whole thing, I don't want, because this is what Dizzy did. Dizzy didn't take anything for granted, and Dizzy was a fighter, and he fought. He never complained about any goddamn thing, nothing. So I just want to say this, guys. If you think you got problems, there's somebody else with worse.
Yeah, I'm 100%.
Count your blessings. Yeah. No matter what your blessings are. If you're homeless right now and you're listening to this, I don't know how. If you're homeless right now, you could be homeless with no clothes. Think about it like that. You could be homeless without your health. you
eyesight.
always got to count your blessings for whatever and how small they are. Don't be envious. Count your blessings. Your life is your own. Live your life to your best ability. Be kind to others. Love others, and give these people the roses while they're alive, because you never know. Because I was just texting him last week. You never know when your friend is gone. So, guys, I love each and every last one of you guys, and I truly mean it, because I don't go on people's shows I don't care about. And Boom knows I love him because he drove my car and I didn't report him to the police. But how can I do that? He's a cop. But guys,
which I'm scared about, because watching his driving in these games has been horrifying. So,
boy, wait a second. I was gonna say the same exact thing. I was like, Boom is a horrible driver, but when he got to Dirt 5, which is inside Game Pass right now, next generation, Boom.
My
boom,
favorite
bang.
game of 2020. Literally my favorite game. It's
So-
incredible. I love it.
Check it out.
So
Catch
King,
you guys later. Yes, sir.
definitely boost up that Y button. The insurance.
Oh yes, and Geico Insurance for sure. They're not a sponsor yet, but I'm working on it.
I couldn't even say nothing. I just looked at him like, look at his head go, because he's in convertible. Catch you guys later.
All right, brother.
Later,
Take
man.
care.
All right,
Listen,
brother,
folks.
take care.
Let me just first of all, Everborn Saga, a good friend of the show, panel member on the Primetime Gaming on Monday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, drops an outstanding $5 super chat. And please get over to the Everborn Saga and check him out. Check out what he's working on. Go check him. Go see his work in the anime space of the incredible Everborn Saga. And they hit their goal on Kickstarter rather quickly. And if you still want to be, help support, a creator that has been working on this for many years, head over there and check that out. He says, "What's up, fellas? Wish I could be there. Stuck in work at meetings." Well, we miss you, brother, and we'll definitely catch you on Friday night. But listen, this has been a great show. I know some people might have tuned in for the Resident Evil stuff, and obviously we didn't get a chance to get to it. But guess what, folks? I'm bringing that story with us in tow. We're going to open up Primetime Gaming with the Resident Evil stuff and what the director had to say. And not only that, they're already working, according to an inside source, on Resident Evil 9. That's already in pre-production, which is crazy. But let's get to the outros, and then we'll get everyone out of here. First of all, Gaz on Daily, or Game on Daily, Gaz from that incredible program. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, dude. You always bring the laughs with you. I think that today was a laugh riot. You and King obviously have a tremendous amount of chemistry, and it showed. Tell everyone about your incredible program, where they can subscribe, and more importantly, where they can tune in weekly to get the same kind of laugh riot, and more importantly, good news gaming information.
First of all, thank you so much for the invitation, man. I was literally just chilling in the chat, and then you invited me, which is so nice of you. It's so cool, and I really love this community. Honestly, I really do. It's kind of life-changing. I wasn't even on Twitter properly last summer until we started Game on Daily. So thank you again, Boom. You're a lovely person.
Oh, thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Well, it was great to have you, man. Love having you on the program. Definitely got to get back onto your show.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's happening. So yeah, for sure, that's going to be great. Game on Daily isn't just our YouTube channel. GameOnDaily.com is something we've sacrificed many live sacrifices to get that running. It's a news aggregation platform. I used to be on a site called N4G, and I found it too toxic and one-sided. So we created it, GameOnDaily.com, which is a news aggregation platform for everyone. So anyone, you're a YouTuber, whatever, content creator or article, you want to be a journalist, we give you the tools out there. So create your own content, submit other content there. So please do sign in. If you're on Twitter, we've got integration that your followers are following will be imported there as well. So if they're sharing stuff or commenting on stuff, that content will be brought to you. So the idea is your circles follow you. So that, there's so much. We spent thousands and thousands on this, and we've made massive sacrifices. So if I could compel anyone to support us, is just go on that site. But without talking about myself too much, tomorrow we've got a great show called Go Live. It's at 8 p.m. GMT. We've got Colt Eastwood. Nice.
That's a big get, dude. Love Colt.
Yeah, Colt's a really close friend of mine. I would consider, and Yeah, he's just amazing. I've got Solid Rev as well. He's an amazing character. He's been content creating for 10 years. The guy's
Wow.
so he's almost at 100k subs. That guy is hilarious. And I've got the Xbox Era Forums proprietor on there as well. So check it out. We're going to be talking about Xbox, very similar kind of conversations about Xbox, how it became the force that it is now. Because we're not just Xbox centric, but we cover all topics. But this one is Xbox focused because it's talking about Phil Spencer and how he's brought this brand to unprecedented strength. So that'll be an interesting show. So without talking on too long, please do check it out. Thank you so much for having me. I love your community, especially everyone in chat. They're just so positive, and I love that about this community. So thank you, Dread. Thank you, Crispy Bomb. I still think Gears of War is overrated. And I keep
the blasphemy! I was going to bring that up. The blasphemy.
Oh, that's great.
God.
Well, listen, Crispy, let's get you on out of here, brother. Thanks so much for being here, as always. Love love how you interact with the community, and of course, love what you do on not only this show but the next podcast as well. Why don't you tell everyone where they can reach out to you on social media? Tell Gaz that Gears of War is relevant and is something special, and where could people check you out on other programs?
Well, as I like to say, Gaz, if you only knew what I know. Other than that, at Crispy Bomb on Twitter, I just want to shout out this community. I just hit 3,000 followers.
Oh, dude, that's awesome! Congrats.
That is incredible. You are all awesome, and as I've weeded out the bad ones, I find even the hilarity in somebody like Gaz trolling me at times. So it's all in good fun, but. It's Crispy Bob 28 Xbox Live. You can find me on it. You can find me right after this. I will definitely at least be in the chat and supporting rest in peace Dizzy and Nintendo Guru, because that hurts, and screw COVID, just saying. And I'll be on Retro Renegade 7 p.m. Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Thursdays, next podcast, and you'll find me not next week. Actually, should have let you know, Boom, but I have to work next week.
Okay, no problem, brother.
But yeah, I'm usually going to be on Breakfast with Boom, as always.
All right. Well, listen, dude, obviously, work is much more important than the silly podcast, and definitely we'll get you back the week after. And Dreadpool, brother, thanks so much for being here. Glad that you had an incredible breakfast. That is some of the best chicken in your region. Tell everyone about not only where could people reach out to you on social media, not only about your YouTube channel, but tell them about Breaking Bread with Dread.
All right. First, thank you all for showing up. It was a great show. Good laughs. This is what is needed.
Yes.
Sometimes with tragedies that we have, sometimes it's not disrespectful to find something humorous to laugh with, to overcome the heartbreak. We're not trying to forget them. It's just we're trying to uplift ourselves, and so there's that weird spectrum that we have to figure out and get ourselves out of the depression and remember the good times. You know what I mean? So we definitely do that. And because of that, we kind of skipped over a few things about Sony, and I wanted to bring it up. What Gaz was explaining about Sony is manscaping, is what he said earlier. So if you don't know, get back there, figure that out. And then the Halo tournament. We talked about this at the beginning of the show. When Noof popped up and you guys were talking, it hit me. You have Mag, right? Middle-aged game guy. He does the Tony Baloney skit.
Oh,
and all
great.
I picture is Noof's team versus your team, and Tony Baloney just talking, right? Now picture this. You've seen the videos he's done, right? The little skits he's done. You put the top hat and the glasses. Michael Jackson's Beat It. That is your two teams against each other. That's the Halo picturing in my head.
It's gonna be a laugh riot.
It's gonna be a great show. Just picturing you guys going at each other, and yet again, this is all in good fun. All right, friendly competition. But that being said, let's go back to me now. Twitter, Dreadpool. O's are actually zeros. Breaking Bread with Dread at anchor.fm/Dreadpool. Gaming Beyond the Box Wednesday nights. Sundays we Gaming Beyond the Box also has FWNR. You should check it out. We'll leave it at that. Breakfast Boom every Friday at 10 a.m. And then Four Guys with Quarters, when I can help, Italian Clowns, I'm there to help doing the interviews. So my DMs are open, and I will see you on the Lord's show coming up.
Yeah, it actually goes live in 5 minutes. But real quick, before we get everyone out of here, of course, I want to say thank you for the super chats that have come in. I want to thank the near 500 people, folks, that came out for today's Laugh Riot show. And if you are new, listen, man. We run an open platform here. Everyone is welcomed. It doesn't matter what console that you enjoy, one more than the other. All that we ask is you come here and you have fun. This is one of the best chats in the business. I will tell you that right now, and it's policed by the lethal one known as Lethal Papa. I couldn't do the shows without him. He obviously is a bigger part of this community. He doesn't just moderate this show. He moderates many shows. I don't know how he has the time to do it. And he does walk silently and carry a very large banned stick. So if you don't come here to be an a-hole, because if you do, you're just going to get banned. And you know what? He has full authority, my backing. If he thinks it's bad, then I think it's bad. And I don't even have to see it because I trust him like that. So real quick, I just want to throw up the picture one more time. Listen, Monday's primetime gaming is going to be incredible. We're going to be talking about the EU confirmation of the Bethesda deal, but more importantly, we're going to be talking about the Xbox exclusives, that onslaught that is coming that no one in the gaming industry is talking about. And obviously, the pictures in the middle are all first party. But what's interesting, and I can only get so many pictures on one page, is the pictures on the left and right. Those are all coming this year, along with 10 other exclusives that, of course, include Halo Infinite and a new Forza, whether that's Motorsport or whether that's Horizon. Folks, this is going to be a freaking year of years. And according to Phil Spencer, which I have him quoted, 2 or 3 surprises that they're going to announce this year that are coming out in 2021, folks. It's going to be an incredible show. Monday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully you can be there. It's going to be madness. But anyway, folks, I'm going to close out the show with something that's important to me. Hopefully one day it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dear old dad taught us. And he used to tell us this: son, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, and I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you next week on the newest episode of Mr. Boomstick, a Breakfast with Boom. And please go from this show over to the Iron Lords podcast on their YouTube channel so we can all celebrate iDizzy's life together. Take care, everyone. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Wear a mask. And we'll see you next week.